FaZe's grand final streak has finally been shut down, and there was one man responsible for it, and his name was Zywoo. So I want to take a look at this quarterfinal matchup and how Zywoo managed to get a 2.42 rating on Nuke and completely shut down FaZe. We'll get right into that right after a quick word from our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a site where you can trade skins that you already have to get some skins that you might want. That way you can hop into your next game with some fresh new skins. All you have to do is log into the site through Steam, put in the skins that you don't want anymore, grab the skins that you do, and then click trade. Trades happen almost immediately, and any balance that you don't use in the trade will roll over for a trade that you might do in the future. Right now you can get a free $5 if you were to use code Austin on the site, and if you were to use my code you would get an additional 5% on top of the 30% deposit bonus. So let's say if you deposit $100, that means you would get $135 if you use my code to deposit. So make sure you guys check out SkinsMonkey, and let's get right back into the video. So here we are, we're going to be watching Zywoo, who is the man who is almost single-handedly responsible for stopping FaZe's grand final streak. For those of you guys that don't know, FaZe is the best team in the world right now, and since CS2 has released, they have been in the grand finals of every event that they have attended, winning some of them, losing some of them like the major final, and here we see them in the quarters versus Vitality. And I wanted to highlight Zywoo because he actually had probably the most dominant performance that I've seen from somebody so far on CT side Nuke. He had a 2.42 rating, and we're going to go ahead and quickly go through everything. I don't want to run these things into the ground. Demo reviews are a lot of fun, but we're going to pick up the pace with this one. Pistol round is as straightforward as, well, you know, as it gets. And one of the things that's important to note about this game is Zywoo is the Awper. Now, for those of you guys that have watched a lot of my demo reviews, you guys will remember that when I highlighted Brokey, I talked about the box that the Awper likes to stay in. So let me just move everybody back to spawn. The box that the Awper likes to stay in is a little bit something like this. Now, it's not really a box, but it's more like a general guideline that all Awpers will pretty much stay in this area. Now, that's just because that's where they're best used. You know, they can rotate to ramp, they can rotate to help outside, they can go for those early opening picks. Now, there is a couple of exceptions, which we will see in this game, but for the most part, you can reliably expect your Awper to play this spot just because he can be everywhere in the world. Now, Zywoo, of course, follows these guidelines, but these first few rounds on his CT side, he actually decides not to op, and I think that's because he just is farming with the rifle, and he sees no reason to. So, he's going to start the round off here by going up the ladder, assisting with the A start, and no rush, so he's going to play this angle on top of the orange box. Now, with this spot, it's very cheesy, but if somebody were to cross back red, as you can see, they're going to have a very hard time challenging Zywoo. Plus, he's playing on top of the box, which is an off angle. You can steal that one, use it in your pugs. It's going to go very well. Now, you can also use that with an op or an AUG. It's just a very strong angle all around. Now, what's most important about this spot is that he is denying the cross to back red, or at the very least, if they do cross, they can, you know, be spotted. And because of that, they know they can't be secret, they know they can't be mini, and because Apex is starting lower, it actually gives Apex time to get towards secret. That way, once Apex is established in towards secret, Zywoo can then rotate without having to worry about leaving a gap. That's a really cool little thing. I like this spot a lot. I'm definitely going to be playing it on my streams in the future. And speaking of which, if you guys didn't know, I do stream. I try to stream every single night. Twitch.tv/AustinCS_. Come check it out sometime. I play a lot of high-level CS with my team, and sometimes just some level 10 pugs. But yeah, we're going to keep it going here. Zywoo's going to play the spot that is named after him, Zywoo, quite a bit. And, you know, that's this staircase. Very good angle. But remember, even though Apex is in towards secret, and he is technically, you know, free to move if he wants to, he's not going to, because what's going to happen is off of Zywoo's contact, Apex will pop up of secret and get any kills that he can't get. So Zywoo now rotates away, lets Apex come up from secret, and it's just a free kill for him. Now that's just straightforward CS. I mean, bait and switch technique, and Zywoo's just going to continuously reposition here. Now they are playing against pistols, so you've probably seen enough. He gets 2 more kills, we just move on. Now, what we're going to see here is Zywoo is an Awper, but he will be rifling for the first few rounds of this game, and the reason is because well, he doesn't need the op. He's going to comfortably take the role of Apex, because Apex likes to start lower, at least in this game versus FaZe. They must have had a game plan to do this, and since he's starting lower, someone has to fill the outside gap, which will be Zywoo. Now, in the interest of keeping this demo review timely, we're going to go ahead and just quickly talk about the roles and then move on. So he's going to sit behind the smokes. He's going to spam the smokes. That way they see a couple of people here, and they hopefully don't expect Apex. So that's why they molly top secret. They're trying to give the illusion that he's not here, and Zywoo is going to do a pretty good job at faking that. Unfortunately, Rain is going to be expecting Apex, and he will go down. Now, Zywoo, really good position here to get a couple of kills. Instead, gets timing and still gets quite a bit of damage done on the players that are crossing in towards secret, and he'll cover the ramp rotate. Now, this is a 4v5 for the CT side. It's not ideal, but One of the things that they do have going their way is that Zywoo's still alive. Now, there is no gaps, as you might have noted. Flames rotated down ramp. I know it's hard to tell from here, but he's down in towards B, and because of that, Zywoo will cover ramp. Technically, there's no gaps, but they have to find an equalizer, and luckily for Vitality, they have the equalizer himself. Will peek out, finds the kill onto Kerrigan. By the way, insane kill. Off the back of that, Spinx gets the info that they wanted to go in towards Mini, so Zywoo will rotate back up to Heaven here, and he seems to have a pretty good spot, but unfortunately, FaZe have made the right call to go towards lower, and they will be forced to save. Zywoo does actually go down to the bomb, by the way. Valve, please fix. So far, nothing too crazy, so you might be thinking, how does Zywoo have a 2.42 rating in this map? Well, you're going to have to wait and see, because to be honest, it gets pretty insane very quickly. Now, off the back of this nade, he's going to actually spot Rain crossing, and instead of taking the fight, he's going to get a little bit of distance between himself and the Deagle, because he knows that they're saving, so he's going to pick this spot. Now, this spot in Garage is very good, and I actually highlighted this in the Donk demo review that I did, top right of your screen if you want to learn more about it, but the idea is pretty straightforward here. Zywoo is playing in a tucked position, he cannot get spotted, and he's waiting for Apex to spot somebody on this pixel, because conveniently enough, this pixel is exactly where Zywoo will be peeking into, so as soon as Apex makes contact here, Zywoo is going to peek. As you can see, the bait and switch is effective, and Kerrigan will go down. A very cool setup that you can use. Not much else to highlight here. Zywoo will find one more kill once the round starts to go towards lower, but we're going to be moving on. I mean, it's a 2v3 retake. It's maybe winnable for FaZe, but Zywoo will get another kill. Moving on to the next round here, Zywoo is going to get upgraded to an AK, still not an up, and he's going to do more of the same. Starts outside with the mollies, spotting to support Apex. He's going to play aggressive red this round, and then he nades in towards top of the silo, hits Frozen. So far, so good. What are we seeing again? We're seeing Zywoo and Apex have this like bait and switch idea where Apex does not get spotted here, so Zywoo is going to be jiggling back here. Hopefully he spots somebody, that way they don't expect Apex to be close, but that doesn't happen. Just another idea though that you can see. Now you will see that Zywoo is a lot more aggressive than a lot of other players that we've done demo reviews on. He is confident. He knows he could be playing as an op, but yet he still is jiggling outside because he's just, you know, better, and he knows that. It's important to be confident when you play this game. That's why the best players in the world play the way they do. They go for peaks because they know that, well, they're them. Like, I mean, it's just going to hit the shot anyway and win the round. They're not afraid, but they're not careless. And you'll see a very clear distinction between carelessness and confidence. I think that you need to make that distinction when you play the game. Anyway, so again, just more of the same. He blows open the smokes to bait. Again, you'll see this as a constant. They are always mollying top secret, even when they know they can't be there. And the reason that they're doing this is because it's providing the illusion that Vitality don't know what's going on secret. Now, this is a very big deal because at the tier 1 level, providing bad info for the other team is just, it's very good. It's a very good tactic. So if somebody were to be outside, let's say Rain was lurking outside and he sees that they molly top secret, what is he going to assume? Well, he's going to assume that somebody is either in secret or, you know, they don't have info, they don't have eyes, which means that Rain is going to think that he can do a convincing lower fake or put pressure and make it seem like there's more people down than actually are. But in reality, Apex actually knows there's nobody down there. And if Rain wanted to do something like that, he would get caught. More importantly, if they were actually going outside, that Molotov is going to delay them and it's going to make them never expect Apex to be here, because why would they be mollying secret if they still have somebody outside? Exactly. So Apex will get set up for kills. Now, you know, this isn't just a Zywoo concept. Vitality is really good about this, but a lot of tier 1 teams are mollying secret regardless of the situation, just to delay them and also to provide bad info sometimes. And because of all of that, Zywoo is allowed to be in the perfect position to rotate up Heaven to deny the A hit. He doesn't actually get any kills, but he will drop in silently, by the way. Cool little silent drop there, and get one onto Rops. But more importantly, he's just in the right spots at the right time. Now, is FaZe doing a bad job here in this game? Well, I don't actually think so. I think they're just getting outplayed. For example, again, Apex has been playing pretty aggressive, but they have not checked him. Are they at fault for doing that? Well, not really. I mean, they did do all the steps that they were supposed to do. They threw the outside smokes. They put all the pressure. But one thing that they didn't do was, because the outside smokes were a fake, they kind of just lost because of the spot that Apex chose to start at the beginning. If he would have started secret like he has been the entire game, or maybe he starts somewhere like back garage, he's not going to have the info that these outside smokes are not real. So FaZe are kind of hoping that that's not the case, and they're also hoping that, based on the fact that Rain is normally a constant outside lurker, that this round that they chose to not do that, that it's also conveniently the round that Apex chooses to do this, which means that it just ends up being a very unfortunate call for FaZe, but a very fortunate call for Vitality. Now, even though they did make a really good call versus this round in FaZe, they still did a very good job at making sure that FaZe had no idea that they did that. Because again, even though Apex was here, they still mollied Secret. So it looks to FaZe like everything is going according to plan. It looks like they put enough pressure just by throwing the smokes to pull a rotate. And in reality, that wasn't the case. Very 5-head round from Vitality. It's like genuinely one of the smartest rounds of CS I've seen in a long time. And yeah, Zywoo plays a very important part in that. He baits for Apex, and he also he throws the molly for the bad info. So far, so good. Okay, now we get a timeout from the boys on FaZe. Again, Zywoo still no op. More of the same. Apex is going to start lower, same concept. Zywoo does make sure to break those windows quite a bit, and it's not for no reason, by the way. The reason he's breaking those windows is it gives you a really good rotate if you need to, like he jumped through the window there, or a late round situation. You don't want to have to break those windows because then you're going to reveal your location. But more importantly than that, the glass actually does deny a little damage. So by breaking it before you have to take a shot, you don't have to worry about dinking somebody through glass. And with the op, it could make the difference between a kill and a leg shot, so that's another important detail. Okay, Apex is getting ready to peek up towards Secret. Some things we've already talked about. Same idea again. As Zywoo's holding this angle, Apex will more than likely peek off of the back of that. We can fast forward it. Smokes get thrown, Zywoo spams, and Apex clears. Didn't see anything, so he's going to rotate off. Now, the reason I'm also highlighting Apex's POV is because it's very important in understanding why Zywoo's doing what he's doing. Based off the information that Apex has in towards outside, it lets Zywoo rotate in these areas that we talked about before. He wants to be in the right spot. He doesn't need to be outside anymore if Apex just cleared it, right? I mean, that might seem obvious, but I mean, seriously, think about it. A lot of people don't think about the macro of a team. So because of the info that they got outside, Zywoo was able to rotate in towards ramp and pretty much bolster the hold that they have here, throw an extra smoke here, and off the back of that smoke and no additional pressure, he will shift in towards heaven yet again because he can still spot outside. If they want to go for anything cheeky, he will be here, and because he's in heaven, if they come out A, he's gonna be in the perfect spot again. And is he ever? He gets a kill onto Robs, almost a transfer, but this is the best situation FaZe have had yet. And even still, it's not great. It leaves Kerrigan in a 1v3, I mean, an ace clutch situation. I mean, this is not ideal. Like, if you're FaZe, #1 team in the world, this should not be the closest round that you've had so far. I mean, yeah, Kerrigan probably should have won it, but either way, that's a tough situation to be in if you're FaZe. Okay, first round, Zywoo's going to pick up the op. Now, this is where things start to get exciting. So, now that he has the op, he can do things that he has not been able to do yet, right? Well, yes, there is one thing that he's going to do here, which is he's going to start the op in towards mini. Now, based on the way that FaZe have been playing, you might have noticed they're throwing this lurk smoke pretty much every round in front of the door. That way they can fake as if they're going towards vent. So he starts his op in towards mini just in case somebody wants to go for a play there. He can maybe catch them, but based off of the smokes that are thrown, he immediately repositions in towards unbreakable. And he has that HE, breaks the glass just like we talked about. Again, that way he doesn't get a leg shot. And he throws a perfect lineup to blow the smoke, just narrowly misses the info. But again, because he knows that they're going down, he can still kind of make sure that nothing gets out of hand, right? Like, he doesn't need to be the one to rotate down. He just needs to make sure that they don't sneak through the smokes. We've covered FaZe a lot on Nuke. One of the things that FaZe likes to do is they like to sneak through the garage smoke, into garage through the smoke or into credit, and Zywoo is very aware of that, so that's why he's making sure he doesn't leave a gap, because look what they've done again. Even though the majority of FaZe have gone down secret, Kerrigan has snuck into garage, and Zywoo is aware of that. He's constantly looking, constantly trying to find him, and he actually will find Kerrigan. Now, that's actually the first missed shot that I've seen him have this game, but it doesn't matter because he's still able to sneak into the best spot possible. Why is this the best spot possible? Well, because he's doing everything at once. He is holding a mini split. If anybody walks into mini, he has them. He's also holding an outside wrap, so if anybody wants to come through hell in towards heaven or anything like that, he can see them. There's nowhere that they can go, and Kerrigan saw him go hell. He did not see him cross back, so Zywoo is guaranteed for a free kill here, pretty much no matter what happens. And is this Kerrigan's fault for not peeking him? Well, no, not really. I mean, think about it. If he did miss the shot, look at this is a hard shot. It's not an easy shot. He has to shoot past all of this in order to catch him. That's not an easy shot, and he doesn't want to keep fighting him because if the op re-peeks into him, he's probably going to lose, and that's the round. So he lets him go here. Now Kerrigan tries to take his timing to sneak into a good spot, which he did, but Zywoo also takes that timing and the understanding that Kerrigan won't continue holding him because it's too risky, and he crosses back on that timing to come here. There is no world where he would ever expect this, and that being Kerrigan. That's what makes this such an insane play. And look at this. I mean, what do you even do? Like, this is the craziest 1-versus-1 situation. Like, Kerrigan versus Zywoo. Zywoo just outplayed him. I mean, like, they both made really good plays, but Zywoo's play is just so much better, and it puts him in the best position. He gets two kills just because of that reposition. They would have never expected that. I would be fuming if I was Kerrigan. But with all that being said, it's still a round here. He blows open the smoke, catches Brokey. Look at him go. He just uses these nades perfectly to always blow open the smokes. Now, they're not really aware of the possibility of Rain being on site there. I think the comms might have got away from him, and it gives Rain a real chance to win here. It makes Zywoo look silly, but to be honest, that's probably his team saying he has to be in control. Well, he wasn't. So, Zywoo believes his IGL, and for good reason. I mean, if Apex is calling such a good game, I'd believe everything he says too. All right, now we go. Round number 9. More of the same that we've seen. I say that a lot in these reviews because that's kind of how the games go. But one of the things that isn't the same is that because Zywoo has the op, he can do things like that. Let me run it back for you so you can really appreciate this. Rain does nothing wrong. Let's watch this from Rain's perspective as well, which, you know, Rain does nothing wrong. I mean, he goes for the outside jump spot, and did he ever spot him? Wow. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Apex will take that timing to sneak in towards back red, but it's the understanding that we've talked about before where Rain is the outside lurker, and because of that, Apex is going to get a little curious. He doesn't think anybody else is out here, and he's going to walk through the smoke. Now, this is Zywoo and Apex working hand in hand together. Because of that kill that Zywoo got, Apex knows it's probably safe to walk through the smoke, and if it isn't, well, he's going to run into a couple people, and they're going to know what to do after that. That's the risk you take as an IGL sometimes, and this time it pays off. Outside's clear. They tell everybody, guys, get ready, it's about to be A. So Zywoo, as soon as Apex gets that info, will indeed rotate to help out, and because of that, he's in the perfect spot yet again. Because he got the opening pick, he's able to sneak into ramp, gets the collapse. I mean, you cannot make this up, and then he gets a 4th as well. This is I don't even have words for this. What a way for FaZe to lose their streak of grand finals. This is a brick wall. You're running into a brick wall. And I ask you the question again, is FaZe playing bad? No! I mean, this is the Zywoo difference. I say that as well a lot in their reviews, but FaZe is not playing bad. They are losing to one player. One player is allowing everything to happen, and his IGL. His IGL, Apex, and Zywoo are single-handedly shutting them down. Apex is picking the perfect spots. Zywoo is allowing him to do the silly things that allow Zywoo to also rotate into the right spot. And since Zywoo doesn't miss, you just have a perfect storm. Now, I skipped around. That was pretty boring. I mean, it's just the exact same thing over and over. I don't want to harp on it. So we've got another round here where Zywoo will go pick for the jump spot. And, well, you know, of course, for good reason, he did just have that round a little bit ago. And again, you're seeing more of the same, which is Apex sneaking in towards back red. They still have not even noticed that he's doing this. Think about all the rounds that Apex has won by being back red or having aggressive info. That's fantastic. But the thing is that even though he's been there every round, FaZe has no idea. I cannot stress this enough. They don't know that Apex is doing that. Not one time has Apex got a kill, but because he has been there so consistently, they're able to rotate Zywoo in the right spot. And they don't know. Like, FaZe might not. They have no idea. They have no idea. And so Apex is going to keep doing that until they find out. Now, this is the round where, you know, again, Zywoo is going to be back here helping out Apex. I think this is the round where Apex does get a kill, finally reveals the fact that he's been back there this entire time, and, well, there you go. Everything is kind of out in the open. Zywoo is going to rotate in towards ramp. They do have a pretty good timing in towards lower here, so because of that, it's looking pretty rough, and FaZe is going to steal a round away here from Vitality. Very unfortunate for Vitality. They did get... they got pistol diffed right there, to be honest. Anyway, so because of that, Apex finally getting spotted, you would think that that's the end of the shenanigans, and you would be right. At least for now. And if they were to play overtime in this game, I'm sure they'd do it again. But this is the time where you're going to see, instead, remember, all game Apex has started lower. This time, Zywoo is going to start lower, because it's just that one last twist to put the cherry on top of your T side. You've conditioned FaZe to expect Apex to be either back red, to be secret, but this time it's going to be Zywoo, and he's coming with pace. He's ready to get posted somewhere. Immediately looks towards top silo, doesn't see anything, but again, Apex is now assuming the role of Zywoo. He's playing farther back, holding these angles. And remember what I talked about before, where Apex is going to, or sorry, maybe it was Zywoo that was holding an angle and Apex peeks off of it. This time it's Zywoo that's going to peek off of Apex. Now there's not too much that's going to happen this round. They're actually not going to come outside, so we'll just go ahead and skip to the end of the round, which is the exciting part, which is actually a 2v4 retake for Vitality. Now there should be no world where they win this, but Mezzy will actually come through and make a heroic play for the boys, and off of the back of this, Zywoo is going to sneak up heaven. Even though this was a hopeless situation, you will note that Zywoo still never ran around. He didn't reveal his position. He was still quiet. And that is going to be important here in a second, because Mezzy understands that since they don't know where Zywoo is, he's going to go ahead and bait as if they're both here. So he's going to make a step here in a second, which baits Rain from looking back sight into looking towards Squeaky. Zywoo takes that sound cue to step out, take down Rain, and drop and defuse the bomb. There's no way that Brokey will be able to win this because he's stuck in towards HUD. As you can see, that's just not winnable. And there you have it. Another round. That makes 10. It also gives 18 to Zywoo at the end of the half. We'll go ahead and go on to the T side. There's not as many things to talk about here on T side as there was on CT side, but we can get into the pistol round here. That's all I have to say. Drop P250. That's why. And the round pretty much just goes from there. They do end up losing the pistol, but yeah. This round is going to be the most Zywoo thing that you've seen. They're going to go down secret with some pace, and Zywoo's going to go ahead and get... hold on, I'm waiting for it. It's coming. Zywoo's going to go ahead and get into the vent here and spot these players that want to come down. He's single-handedly denying the vent rotate, as you can see here. This is something we talked about with the Brokey demo review as well. If a team goes in towards lower, you will oftentimes see their Awper responsible for the vent, because again, if this is an op, I know this is a deagle, but the roles will stay the same even though it's an eco. The op will have an easier time killing somebody than a gun, an AK will, because that's a one shot, and the AK could, you know, there's some room for a whiff kill. Either way, so Zywoo is going to be responsible for holding the vent, and the rest of his team is going to be set up on site. We don't really care too much about these setups, that's whatever, but what is important is that Zywoo is going to take advantage of the fact that he now has vent control to hold secret, and yeah, that's just Zywoo. He gets 2 with the deagle, and that's the round. Even though he does go down, that's pretty much all that you can do. Another perfectly played round from Zywoo, and again, the mechanics to show for it as well. I mean, yeah, he's in the vent with the deagle, like, yeah, sure, okay, they don't know he's there, best case he gets 1, right? Nope, he gets 2, and that's the round. And not only is that the round, that's pretty much the game. I mean, at that point, your money's broken if you're FaZe, and there's really nothing you can even do at this point. I mean, like, you have nothing. You have to force. Your guns are awful, and Zywoo knows that. So he's going to take advantage of that by peeking outside pretty aggressively. He is not afraid of anything that could be going on here. Confidently holding secret. He knows that if anybody pushes, by the way, you have shadow advantage here. I don't think we're going to get to see it in this instance, but if anybody does aggress towards secret here, their shadow does give them away. Oh, just like that, actually. And there you have it. Another thing that you need to keep in mind if you play towards Nuke, I know that you might think that shadows are a little overstated or overhyped in this game, but they're actually not. Pro players are taking advantage of every shadow advantage that they can get, and so you should probably keep an eye out on where your shadow is showing. All right, now, bomb to go down, FaZe to stomach a terrible save here, can't even get away. And now we go into the last round. I know that there's not much to talk about on T side because most of it was CT side dominance, but there is one more thing that happens here, which is Zywoo versus Rops in towards ramp. Starts off with the molly, kind of just jiggling. He knows Rops has to make the play. He knows that they have to win. He's just waiting. He has a better gun than Rops, and he knows that. He's just taking the fight. Now, it is, again, important to note that Zywoo is not normally somebody that will be in towards lobby, but the game has pretty much broken down from the, you know, the normal thing that you're going to see to just, we're just going to win the game. Everybody pick a spot that you want to play here, basically, and that's just that. Now, that's it. I mean, that's just it. I mean, the game is over. Zywoo's going to find the kill under Rops, knows that that was the ramp player the entire time, and that's the game. That's the game. Not much else to say. A heartbreaking way for FaZe to lose their grand final streak, but very well played to Vitality. They played a monster game. Apex deserves a lot of credit for this game, as well as Zywoo, of course, but Apex was setting Zywoo up consistently to be in the right spots to get those highlights that he got today, and yeah, that's just a very strong game. If you did enjoy this demo review, I'd appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel. I do a lot of demo reviews on this channel, as well as just general CS teacher stuff, so yeah, if you want to learn some more content, make sure you guys do drop a sub, and that's going to be it for me. Appreciate you guys for watching if you made it this far, and that's it. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.